Well, what do we want to do anything else right
You
now?
want to restring your guitar.
I do need to
We are
restring my
halfway
guitar.
through.
Actually, yeah, it's 3 o'clock and
How long does that take? Like 5 minutes?
24 minutes and 56 seconds.
Okay.
Now,
Where do you want to do that?
I'll probably just do it on the table again. I could do it in front of everybody. That would be fine too. There's a bit of fine work to be done, so it could be done on the table as well. But yeah, let's maybe just do it in front of everybody.
Just on the
No.
floor?
now when you said you mentioned that you wanted to you needed to restring your guitar.
Yeah,
And then you played your guitar
I did.
for quite a bit this morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the problem with it?
These are the strings-
Used now.
Yeah, they are. Yes. No, they
I
can't
have to
play
replace them
anymore.
after every song.
It's getting a little. You can kind of see because I'm bad. I don't clean my guitar after every time I use it, which is what you should do, as I've learned over the years.
Doesn't sound very rock and roll.
Yeah, at least give your. What's more rock and roll is you pay somebody to clean your guitar for you.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah,
Right, you have the roadie doing all that.
exactly. Oh wow, thank you, Kevin. So the strings, it's going to be very hard to tell, and maybe you can see or not, but they don't really gleam and glitter, right? Like that's the thing when you see they're very dull.
It's like that song from Moana.
Right, you just need to buff your strings. Is that the problem?
So they rust. The windings rust
Oh.
over time, and they rust because you touch them with your finger oils.
Mm.
And I don't have a ton of oil in my skin, but I do have such that it can create. It can still sit on there for a while. What you're supposed to do is after you're done playing, you're supposed to just take a cloth, and you're just supposed to kind of like wipe down the strings, make that
It's
lovely
too late.
sound. Yeah,
Far too late.
it's not coming back. I realize that, and because it's. I wish I could get it really on camera. A lot of the bronze windings are just gone black, and that's why I was like, if you can see it glitter or not, you would know for sure what it's supposed to look like. So what we're gonna do?
And that changes
Instead-
the tone of the.
Yeah, the tone gets a lot warmer, but then actually it can get dull as well.
Ah!
Too warm. Too
Kevin!
warm.
Kevin
Ah.
fell down.
Too much. Yeah, and it might even be so dark that you might not be able to tell that
Well, I was
it's
going
actually.
to bring my flashlight
No,
over
that's-
there.
Oh, that's good.
I don't
Do
think
that.
that's what you want to do.
Here, let's try over here.
Right.
So you can illuminate this area. You can see how it's kind of like it's pitted and dark in spots along the
The thick one.
yeah. the
Is
thickest
there a
string.
danger that it'll actually snap?
The thick ones won't snap like that. They won't get worn out enough to snap, but the thinner ones could.
Mm.
But yeah, just from getting worn out. So what I thought I would do is I would loosen all of my strings. The thing I was taught a while ago that you should never de-string a guitar all at the same time because
The neck needs to be under tension.
exactly, yeah. And then I've seen multiple dudes, professional luthiers and stuff, cutting strings off of
Yeah,
guitars.
you just rip them all off. It's
Yeah.
fine. It just not for long term. Not
Yeah.
for storage.
So I'm just gonna basically loosen these as much as I can, and then we're just gonna pull off each string and get this one a little bit looser. And then I'm gonna polish the keys because the keys are an absolute nightmare. Just looking at them now, they're just
Those are good noises.
really
Yeah.
good noises, right?
Yeah, you're basically playing like a stand-up bass.
Little tension on that, so I can feel it as it unwinds.
Ooh, restringing a reined into piano.
There we go. There's another one. Let's do this one down here. That's the wrong way. Get the top string off.
So apologies if I missed this, but when was the last time you had strung that?
Oh, probably a few years ago.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you don't have to restring it that often.
No, you should. If you're playing your guitar regularly, you probably want to restring it every 6 months. But I
You
don't.
can kind of tell.
Yeah, I have not touched my guitar a lot, and yeah, you're right. You can definitely tell when the strings get worn out. And I've been meaning to do it for a while. That's why I have my strings here.
Do they get like? Do they if the guitar is like strung and then just like left in the closet or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
do they still like wear out? Like,
I mean,
Is
they'll
it
be,
just
they'll
then
be
mon-
left under tension for a very long time, and they'll stretch,
Mm.
right? So once I play this tonight with brand new strings, if I leave the tuning the way it is on brand new strings, they will stretch again.
It'll be like, whoa.
Yeah, and they hopefully though shouldn't attract a bunch of dirt or other crap.
Mm.
So, yeah, Landmauer says when I was touring, I restring every 2 weeks. Yeah,
Wow.
if you play a lot, you're gonna wear your strings out, and
once you, is it like shoes? Like, do you have to break them back in again after you string?
well, once you string, you're gonna play them. You're gonna play them a little bit, and you might find that once they've been under tension for a little bit, they'll stretch a little bit, and you'll just retune. And I mean, every time you're going out to, if you're gonna perform on stage, you should be tuning every time when as you're not as you're going out, but when you're out on the stage. Or before you go out on stage, someone who tunes your guitar, you'll tune your guitar first anyway, so you know
Right.
you're ready to go. So yeah, it's it is the kind of thing where you need to put some time into doing it, and
So when you're, when you play guitar, you have to get used to sort of tuning on the fly a little bit.
yeah, you're always kind of fine tuning a little bit. I've seen guys on stage even they'll play, and then you'll just see them reach up and they'll just adjust it. You just see them touch the little thing, just turn just a little bit. It's like, yeah, that seems a little down or it seems a little up, or I need to make a slight adjustment. And
I mean, especially if you are, if you're playing all the time with the same guitar and everything, you get a pretty good idea of what it's supposed to sound.
yeah, exactly.
Something, you know when it doesn't sound right.
Yeah, and if your strings aren't in tune with each other, it's more obvious.
Right, that's a big thing, is that guitars are usually tuned, like you tune one string and then tune everything to that one string. Is that usually
Kinda, you can.
Yeah,
It's easier that way if your ear is good enough.
Right.
you can hear the beats, and then you can be like, I was taught. My dad tuned his guitar by playing House of the Rising Sun on it.
Hmm.
And that's when he's like, okay, that's off. And then he would go ahead and he'd make the adjustment and he'd find what it is. And then he would, but he would do that after he's actually tuned. But how he taught me how to tune was to tune up. So basically, stay on the 5th fret until you get to like the B. But then it's like you're mostly staying on the 5th fret, 4th on the B. And you just tune to the next string that's higher to make sure that you're like getting everything. The trouble with that, as I learned, is that if every string is off by a few cents, then by the time you get to your top E, it's not the same as your bottom E. And then you play both of them together, you're like, well, why are they off by so much? Why did I just tune a little bit sharp on every single string? So instead, I learned from somebody, here's how you tune your guitar to your A string. And you
So
just-
it's always go back to the A string rather than tuning them one
Yeah.
to the next.
and just move along and I get everything to the A string. And then what I'll usually do is I'll check them to each other just to be sure that that if they're close enough to each other, they're also kind of in tune. Because I'm like, if everything's been tuned back to the A string, then the B and the E, when I play an E on the B string and I play the top E, they should be the same. Because they should be. All of the strings were tuned back to the A. So the B, when I play an E on B, I should also have that same thing on E, right? All the E's should be the same.
Okay.
You follow me? Kind of. I hope.
Mostly.
Okay.
See, I played the flute,
Yeah.
and the flute you tune it by you can
Move it in and out.
adjust things, but like that's it.
Yeah.
Because it's metal.
Yeah.
So like everything is the same in relation to itself,
But also,
but you just have to tune it a little bit.
have you played your flute in the cold versus in the warm?
Yeah, well, that's why you have to.
And then you'll
yeah,
adjust.
you have to adjust it,
Exactly.
or like a long, like in a. I definitely have done been doing done a concert that like in a really warm place, and you were in tune, and then you go out on stage and sit around for a while other stuff is happening, and then you go like, oh, something is not right.
Yeah, I'm not in tune anymore. I've had that happen, like with saxophone, it's the same thing, right? It's like you basically, the only thing you can adjust is where your mouthpiece sits on the cork. And so, yeah, you do have to like get it to that point. But you can also change your tuning by changing your embouchure a little bit too.
Right, but the difference being though that like it's one change that you have to make,
Yeah,
because everything else is sort of locked to itself,
yeah.
as opposed to having to tune each string separately.
Molly said while you were speaking of how you had learned that that's how her mother taught her,
Ah.
and that her tuning song is "Ode to a Butterfly."
Oh, cool. There we go. All right, so now I have many pokey and irritating strings on the ground, which we can whip each other with later.
I do love the idea that I do like everyone's got their own like tuning song.
I'm gonna do something disgusting.
Oh, you've been spit shining your keys, anyways.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but I've been touching them with my tongue. I haven't been spitting on the. I just want to clean up the bit that's underneath the guitar, or underneath where the strings are going to go, because I know it's going to get filthy, and I just want to get it.
That's where the mung collects.
Yeah, where we can. I like this guitar a lot. So I started. I bought an Ovation because I listened to Khaki King. She was playing one on Conan decades ago.
And they're beautiful.
And they're so pretty. And she sounded amazing with it. And so I was like, I have to, I want to try one of these out. So when I got my tax return, a couple of years later, I'm like, I want to buy a new guitar. So I went and I got my Ovation Celebrity, which is this, not as nice as what she plays. She plays an Adamas, multiple Adamas's. They're the premier brand that Ovation makes. Kind of like carbon fiber and stuff. And I met her at a concert, and you can see that little scribble there on the inside cutaway is her signature. She signed my guitar for me, which was lovely of her. It's funny, the story I love to tell about that too is that I went to go see that concert by myself. I'm like, nobody else wants to go with me. I'm not even going to bother asking. I'm just going to go buy a ticket and see what happens. And so I went, sat front, a few rows back, but in the center. And she comes out on stage, and she's dressed all in white. She's got blonde hair. She's got sunglasses on, and she's got a cape, like a very, not really big white cape, but just a little white cape that's kind of flying behind her. And she sat down, and the lights came up and everything else, and she looked like a superhero. It was amazing.
Nice.
She looked like she was 8 feet tall. And then I went and I met her afterwards, and she's nothing tall. She's just I was towering over her, and I was just this is really weird, because she had all this presence on stage, but she's out signing stuff afterwards, and it's this is a very different experience I'm having at the moment. But she also plays elixirs, and I had to know well, what's the difference here? And the big deal with these is that these ones specifically are polyweb coded. Elixir does coded strings. So these are, the ones I've got are polywebs. You can get nanowebs as well. And the tone and the touch and the feel and stuff are all different depending, you can see on the little chart there, Paul. Wow. They're all different depending on which ones you're going to put on your guitar.
Rich. I love, it's so clear, especially with music. I mean, that when you get into very particular stuff, it's so clear that language is extremely inappropriate to describe sound.
Yep.
And so you get all these really weird terms, bright, focused.
Yeah.
What is a focused sound, right?
Exactly.
A warm sound, a cool sound, a rich sound, a full sound. The words that are used to describe acoustics are it's so it's clearly clear. It's well, this is not actually. It's this is. We don't have there's no good way to describe this, so we've kind of built this weird vocabulary up.
So if you want to have a look at this, you can actually get a really good picture of a string here. I don't know if we'll be able to zoom in on this or not. Maybe we can't. I don't think there's even a better way to show it off at that point. So this is a 80-20 bronze wound string. So we have a steel string on the inside. That's from about here out, that's just a steel string. And then the winding starts, and you wind and you wind and you wind and you wind and you wind, and you get all the way to here, and you can actually feel it different on the string a little bit. When you get to this point, this is where the coding starts. So the whole string itself isn't even coded, it's just the part that's going to actually interact with everything else. I have to remember which
Now,
way to turn these.
Only four of the 6 strings are coated or wound, right?
Correct.
And the other 2 are just nylon or whatever, or
They're steel.
they're steel.
Yep, anti-rust steel, as they call it. But
The winding is to make it just a thicker string, so it's a deeper joint.
exactly.
Yeah. So once you'd like settled on the elixir strings, did you try anything like deeply funky, like nylon or stretchy or?
Well, I've never played. I have played at nylon strings before because a friend of mine had a classical guitar,
Right.
and I got to try it. It's a really fun feeling.
Soft.
Yeah. Oh, they're so easy to play as a result. And Ian had that Ashbury bass.
Yeah, the little one.
Yeah, that uses this. He has a tiny little bass that uses incredibly thick strings, like they're basically like surgical silicone.
Tubing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fun too, and it's also very soft, makes beautiful sounds. And I like the steel, and also that most acoustic guitars these days, if it's not a classical guitar, they just say you're going to wind it with steel strings. You're going to wind it with metal strings. Nobody makes an assumption that you're going to put nylon on them. So I don't. I just kind of stick with what I'm told to do. In fact, I'm going to wind this, and I have to try to remember how to wind it, because I took everything off and was like looking at it, but I'm like, what's the trick again to wind these things so that they get on perfectly? And I can't remember what the trick is.
Don't you loop you kind of knot it through the...
You have to go over it and you have to kink it, and I'm like, so then if I'm going up, I want to turn like this to make it...
Yeah, so that
tighter.
you wind into it.
Yeah. And it's like I have to put the kink the right way so that when it's wound over top of it, that it does it properly. Do you have a trick for that? Because you have a guitar.
No, I don't have a trick.
Remember, folks, always make sure your kink is the right way.
Yeah. And there's like a length of string that you want to have so that there's enough to kind of wind over it, but you don't want to have too many winds because then it just takes longer to string the guitar and wind things up.
If you do it wrong, pro guitarists will make fun of you.
There's that too.
Kink
Yeah.
shame you.
Yep.
Pull the string tight, grab the string under the nut, and then back it off a fret. Don't knot it. Okay, so they're saying that's an interesting idea. Never heard that before. Let's see. Pull the string tight. That would be tight.
I
Grab the
wouldn't
string
trust
under
them.
the nut.
They're a fish.
Back it off.
Basios? Basios? Secret fish.
But are they a cool fish?
I think I want to go like this.
I mean, apparently they know how to play a guitar, which
Our
is
site
pretty cool.
volunteer is a
That's
secret
pretty rad.
fish. So that's great.
Like that.
Who else here is a secret fish?
If you're a secret fish, you have to tell us, otherwise it's entrapment.
Or it's catfishing.
So do that,
Well, yeah.
and then you sit back it
It's
off
a much
by
better
fret,
punchline, Corey.
which I believe is that much. Put the pinch on there like that, and we'll see what happens. I actually have a crank to do this, and it's in my guitar case. Just do this for now. It's also probably hard for everyone to see what I've done, but I basically looped the string so I pinched it this way. We're just going to pinch it that way, and I'm going to twist counterclockwise, because that's what to me feels like I'm going up a string, because I'm making it tighter by going that way. So I'm going to do that, and I put it underneath the wind so that as I wind it, it stays pretty tight.
Oh, it's all fish puns.
I think I want to... Is there another track we could listen to? Because I feel like we've worn this one out. Thank you. Alright, I'm just going to trap it in between one and the other. It's like we're making a clove-hitch, it'll be fine. Ultimately, as long as the string gets tight, you're probably going to get what you want. And then I got to be sure that it's also sitting where it needs to sit on the bridge, because the bridge on this guitar is also shaped interestingly and has the places where the string has to ride. But there's on the B string, it's actually like, it's not just a straight line, it's like it's notched out a little bit, like it's sent backwards a little bit. I don't know why that is, but it is.
Are there any like shanties about guitar stringing,
Like
Paul?
a way to remember how to do it.
No, I feel like yeah. Shanties are usually, they'll be like a big work song. Usually you don't have to get like 5 guys all working together in time to string a guitar.
Well, it's the only time it's safe to undo all of the strings. Is when you're putting them all back on right at the same time. Haul
Hold on the
the G
steel.
string.
Hold on the G string, hold.
Don't kick the G string. Back it off a notch.
Yeah. String away, pluck away. I mean, yeah. A guitar would have to be big enough to be strung with
So the size of a
Half-inch-
whaling vessel.
1/2-inch thick hemp ropes.
Yeah. Pull it tight. Find where it sits at the nut. Back it off a fret. That seems to be a very good way to. That's a great shorthand. And I forget who told me about it in chat, but thank you.
Resios.
Was it? Thank you.
Or
Alright.
basios. No R. They were a fish.
Yep. Secret
Yeah,
fish.
secret fish.
Secret fish.
Always listen to the fish.
I mean,
In chat.
fish are known for their guitar playing
Yep.
ability, so that makes sense.
I've played Majora's Mask.
Windfish?
In Majora's Mask, the Zora that
Oh,
you
they're
change into
fish.
plays guitar. Yeah.
Right.
Here's a quick challenge. Please give me a name for my vampire clown D&D character. The sillier the better. Vampire clown.
Vampire clown.
I feel like it needs to somehow reference juggalos.
That's kind of like the sort of that's a Zora, not a Juggalo. I think like the word Juggalo, it involves a lot of the sounds you want. Like
There's some great options in the chat so far. Honkula.
God, Pagliacula is really hard to say.
it really
Yeah,
is.
I mean, if we want to go jugular, there's Jugula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jugula's good. Because you also get the jugular,
But if it's Jugulus Jugular, then that's just a Common Rider character.
Oh. Actually?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Count Blorbo.
Count Blorbo?
Yeah. Vlad the Tickler.
Oh no.
Took out the
Jugula Tickler.
Ugh.
So,
That's worse.
It's gonna tickle your jugular.
ooh. I do like Sucko the Clown.
I don't. I really don't all of a sudden.
like, so, dude's making fun of him. Like, what? So you're bad at being a clown? It's like, yes, that's why. Keep making fun of me. Snow the clown.
Nobody tell Jacob about Sucko the
Oh,
He's upset enough as it is.
I bet he would have a great voice for him, though.
Maybe that could be that clown drummer's name.
Back a fret.
What do you mean too late?
They've decided on Sucko the clown, have they?
And they told Jacob about it already.
No.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, that was
How have
fast.
they already told... Isn't Jacob asleep?
Yes.
It's not like in whatever, not Scott Pilgrim, where his roommate is like texting while he's asleep.
Mm. Oh, I'm so excited about the animated show.
The trigger one?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Sign Sorrow.
Sign Sorrow, right?
Yeah, Sign Sorrow. Ah, anime.
Nope, I want that to be there. Maybe that's, maybe I'm not supposed to pinch it that way. And that would explain why. Maybe I'm supposed to pinch it the other way.
Oh no! Don't.
Well, what if we did,
Only consensual pinching.
yeah, I'm wondering if I pinched it the other way. I mean, I can just hold it this way and it should still work. Let's find out. Let's all be friends and do this together. Please do.
Are you
not-
talking to us or talking to the guitar?
Kind of both.
So
Come on.
we should all haul on one of the strings.
Yeah.
Come on, strings. Let's be friends about this.
Hmm. There we go. That went underneath, so that was good.
Yep.
That'll
If you
create a
value
knot.
your guitar, you don't want my assistance.
Right, Trigger was doing Dungeon Meshy. That's why I was excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Oh,
Anime!
Anime.
Anime! Beej, you said you were watching Pluto last night.
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's so very gorgeous.
Pluto?
Yeah, it's
Naoki Urasawa. the same guy-
Urasawa's kind of retake on sort of like the Astro Boy Tetsujin sort of
Yeah.
giant robots. Like Astro Boy's one of the characters,
Yeah.
but it's drawn in a more realistic Urasawa
Yeah.
style.
If you've seen the manga Monster or 20th Century Boys, or if you've been watching Brave New Phase and seen Yawara, Fashionable Judo Girl, that's Urasawa.
Yeah.
So you know what it's supposed to look like based on that, but it's an Astro Boy story being retold, and
Yeah.
it's really good. It's on Netflix. Paul, if you have Netflix, go look up Pluto. It's really good.
Slightly disappointed. It's not a gritty reboot about Mickey
It's a
Mouse's
gritty
dog.
reboot. And the gritty Mickey Mouse reboot is Billy Bat if they ever make that. Which is another Urasawa.
We should draw for that thing so we can move on with our lives.
We
But
were waiting
can't.
for the minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It just
Yeah.
ended, didn't it?
It
I
did.
looked up, I panicked. I'm like, it's been over, and I've been here for 20. I've been here just doing stuff for 25 minutes and haven't realized.
It's only been 18 years.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think the official name for their vampire clown is Sucko. The clown.
Well, it is now.
Well, that's the rule. You ask Desert Bus to name something, you're legally obligated to name it that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think I can do that.
Didn't somebody ask Desert Bus to name their kid, or am I losing my mind?
Oh, that seems
There's a
dangerous.
cat.
I know there's been a few pets, but I feel like somebody was like,
They
hey,
had a child and made us responsible.
I'm having a child, please suggest a name. I'm hoping it was for a bit.
I thought I cleaned this board better than that. Clean it now.
Wait, that challenge wasn't for a vampire that someone's gonna play in an RPG. It was for their child. Oh no! Oh no! Man, that kid's gonna get bullied.
They just have high aspirations for their child. They believe that their kid's gonna grow up to be a vampire clown.
Yeah, the fact that they were looking for a vampire clown name for their kid is already highly questionable.
I'm not here to judge their life choices. Audibly.
Is there like a Suzuki method for clowning? Like you start your 3-year-old in gymnastics
David's?
and like like the violin
Yeah.
system.
Let's remove that because it leave that in the way. We're gonna just keep doing this. Somehow everything's gonna
I
work
mean,
out.
probably, like, you can just drop your kid off at the circus and hope for the best.
Holy crap! Oh my goodness!
It's like,
Where'd you,
Oh, you
where'd you
ran-
drop off her son today? The Suzuki method for class clowning or whatever.
but it's like, oh, you ran away to join the circus? Sort of.
Yeah.
More, my parents just dropped me off at the circus and left.
Were they circus people? No.
My dad was an accountant.
Yeah. But he had a dream for me, and I have to see it through.
Yeah, they only needed me for like a funny joke, like for the bit, for Desert Bus, and then
They only needed me for the bit. It's just the most depressing story to tell. That's how you start your autobiography. My parents, they only needed me for the bit.
some people call it a legacy, but no, it's the bit.
That's the title of the autobiography.
Okay, you're good there. There is also an outside chance that I might have picked up thicker strings than I'm used to.
Whoa!
So,
Oh no.
the guitar's going to sound even different.
That wasn't just so they show up better on camera?
No. I went in looking to see what they had at Long McQuaid months and months ago, and I was like, well, I need to restring my guitar, so I better I'll buy what they have. It'll be fine. And then didn't get around to doing it, and here we are. And they probably might have gotten in other gauges, but that's fine. Sorry, what the hell's making that noise? And it's the cat.
It sounds remarkably like a theremin.
What if you make like a deal with a clown, and then they get your firstborn?
Oh.
In exchange for
Like that
what
classic
does
tale.
the clown give you?
A fun night out?
A balloon animal?
Discount on a birthday party?
Well, I did that one wrong, so we're going to do this one right. You won't be able to tell the difference.
If you do them opposite ways, then one will be right.
Yeah. I wonder if I should just do them all the
Just
same.
goofy style.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really not great where I've got that. It's probably fine though. So I did the thing, because there's 3 keys on either side, I wound the 4th string the same way I wound the other 3, but of course it's keys on the other side, which means that rather than coming up the center and going over, it comes up the center and goes way off to the side on the neck.
Oh, so it's gonna run into the other peg?
It's very close at running into the other peg. It hasn't, and I don't think it will. I think there's lots of air in between it. There's so much air in between it. But it's just like, for the look of it, maybe it is just a looks problem.
Happy birthday, Amelie. Apparently, they turned 43 today.
Oh.
Oh,
Happy birthday!
thanks for donating.
Still knows me the same way, don't I?
Oh yeah. And then we immediately have to roll it to the next one.
You ready?
Oh, I see. I get confused because how the times are showed. This one is there. This has -8 minutes and -17 seconds left.
Okay.
It's probably good.
Both parts of the time are negative. Yes. So let's roll for this signed Animorphs art print, kindly donated by Molly Lewis. Here we go. The winner is
I'm excited.
Flip!
Flip.
Hey!
Congrats, Flip.
Thank you very, very much.
Well done, Flip.
That raised a total of $1,412.64. Think of how many Animorphs books you could buy for that. Probably more than 5.
You could probably like commission a new one or an Animorphsona or something.
Were all the Animorphs books written by one person?
Yep.
Wow.
K.A. Applegate.
It's like R.L. Stein with the Goosebumps books.
Yep.
Just really churning them out.
Unlike the Louis L'Amour books, well,
Well,
Unless you listen to his family, in which case there's just a random trunk in the attic where they keep finding new books.
Oh, that's good of him to write thousands of books for the future.
books for the future.
Definitely really thinking about your legacy.
It's for the bit, Beej.
It's for the bit. Thinking about the bit.
I wrote thousands of books and put them in a trunk in my attic. It's not House of Leaves at all. It's the Garden of Forking Paths, okay?
We should probably start the next giveaway.
Yeah, let us roll right into this one here. This is number 101. This is the, we are going to start this giveaway for a fantasy eyeshadow bundle.
Now, I wonder what makes it a fantasy.
Because they're a number that's associated with eyeshadow.
Should we roll dice for these?
Oh, it could
That
be
sounds good. I like that.
Wait, I have some dice over here.
'Cause
Yeah.
I have
otherwise
D6s over here.
I think there's other dice over here, but we can just add the d6s together.
You have 2 eyes, but you have 4 eyelids.
Roll 3d6, pick the top two.
All right,
Yeah.
I am rolling these 3d6.
Pray do not roll them any further.
We have
11.
a 5, and a 1, which is 11. 551.
551.
Yeah.
551.
That sounds
Getting
like
a little low on the. I like that.
Yeah. Gets multiple it up, people.
So that is 3.
Let's see here. Pinch it away there. And we'll see what happens.
And we are going to run that to 4:30.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Or 4:40? Half an hour?
We got
Or
one
an
more.
hour?
We got another one after this. So.
Yep.
So then, yeah. So I think we need to leave time for the other one too. So
Yep.
we'll run that till 4:30. That is 5:51. Begin.
All right.
Commence donating! Thank
Fantasy Eyeshadow Bundle number 1. Big thanks to Fantasy Cosmetica for that.
Still on top. That's fine. Wonder- Sounds like it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
In the same way, in the realm of like, sort of experimental, John Cage with his, wait, is it John Cage I'm thinking of? With
Yep. Tons of experimental stuff.
Yeah, 4 minutes, 22 seconds and different stuff. I feel like there could be like a symphonic composition that's tuning the guitar.
Well, that's not quite what he was doing.
But I think there
Although
have
it
been
was
some
it
avant-garde
was a
people.
lot of examination of like what's the difference between sounds and music, just
Oh, yeah.
noises, right?
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I guess yes, tuning the guitar, but a lot of his stuff was like very. There was sheet music for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it would be like he would like use the whatever I Ching to combine things in different ways,
Yeah, yeah.
but
yeah.
randomly. It's kind of like procedurally generated music, but old.
Not saying necessarily a John Cage something, but it's just interesting, an interesting experimental composition. Tuning
Hayden
in.
has a symphony where they tune in the middle. That's wild.
That's great.
It does feel like one of those things that unless you invent a brand new instrument, everyone's probably done a lot of the stuff that you've thought of.
1812 Overture has a cannon in it.
Yeah.
Everything could have a cannon in it.
That's true.
Specifically, a fish cannon. You just shoot a fish at the middle
1812 overture with fish cannon.
Yeah.
For timpani and fish cannon.
You hit the gong with a fish.
Yeah. Like, not even as a joke. Like, if, like, to show off. Like, there's a bunch of articles of them, you know, showing off the fish cannon
Yep.
thing
The
as a
whoosh.
replacement.
Yep.
But like as like a promotional thing, doing like the 1812 overture.
Just the da 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 da.
Except it doesn't go like it's just a constant thing,
Yeah.
right?
It sounds like a water slide, but if it makes the slurp sound, that would be good. Yeah, that's the sound it makes. Fish.
I live fairly near the Inner Harbor here in Victoria, which about every once in a while, maybe once a year. No, they didn't do it last year, but every once in a while they do the Symphony Splash, and where they have it's like a symphonic performance outside on a barge, and they do it outside on a barge, partially so that they can do 1812 Overture with real cannons, which you can't really do in a theater so well.
Do they then dive off the side to make the splash, or?
No, I think
Oh.
I guess the splash is that it's like on the water, I guess. But anyway, I live close enough to the Inner Harbor that I can hear the boom. I mean, despite the amusement we get out of the fact that your guitar gets green screened, it is a really beautiful guitar. Like it is a beautiful and also quite unique. The color I have never seen a nice green guitar like that.
Yeah.
You should challenge the bus to name it.
Guitar, you
No.
make guitar face.
Absolutely not.
Sucko the Clown the Second.
Ooh, Green Tar. That's a good name.
This is not a canonical naming.
Have all the fun you like, chat.
This is not a consensual naming process.
Go wild.
Ooh, the Beej caster I kind of like.
Spicy noodles.
Get back.
Green strings.
Spicy.
Alright. This one's being a big, big pain.
Deborah.
My mom?
Would that be upsetting, Corey? If I name my guitar after a member of your family?
I would assume you were naming it after the compressor song.
Yeah.
We just have to make it very clear that it's a member of Corey's family, not anything else.
I think her name was Deborah. Did it literally snap?
It was a great noise.
Yep. Oh, it broke. Oh.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, gotta go
You
buy
went
a
too
new
hard.
One. Oh well. What? That's the bottom string. Or the top string, rather. Yeah, that's okay. I'll go buy... I might actually have a replacement string
Oh no.
in my bag. Yeah.
It's the
old one's
that's
still
the-
out here.
That's the smallest. That's the thinnest string, eh?
Yeah, yeah. And I could actually probably, since I unwound the other one and didn't chop it, I could probably put the other one back on if I needed to. I'm right off mic, I realize that. Alright. It is just a steel string, but it will have coating on it. And I don't know whether I should bother... I don't know if I should put the old one back on, so I have something to play with for the time being, because I am not going to be able to get along McQuaid during the daytime while I'm sleeping. So,
Well, if you could, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Beej.
Beej just like sleepwalks into Log McQuaid. There's like a post-it note on his forehead that says, you know,
He's
with-
here for this.
Yeah, with like, you know, a $20 bill.
Like people's house pets that go shopping.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
like give
Yeah,
this man a guitar string, take the money, turn him around, and push him out the door.
He'll make his way back home.
No, the old string is very rusted in
Oh.
spots I don't want it to be rusted in. So, yeah, I have to get new strings.
There's
Or
lots of,
a new string.
I'm sure there's lots of songs that can be played with 5 strings.
Yeah. Or knock it down to 4,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a very large ukulele.
The tough thing is that they don't sell elixirs individually. They sell a lot of other strings individually, but they don't sell these ones individually. So,
Oh no.
yeah.
So now you'll always be off by 1.
You just
Well-
have to break all your other strings.
I'm not gonna buy an elixir for the top string. I'm just gonna buy I might even go home and see what I have for my electric that is steel string, because I do have a few left over. And I used to buy strings where they came with extra top 2 strings in them, so you'd get like a package of 8 instead of 6,
Oh.
and you
Just for this exact reason.
for this exact reason that while you're playing it, you're probably going to bust these ones before you bust any of the other ones. So that has to go there. Yeah.
That is not these ones. These
No.
do not have that.
Yeah. These were, how much were these again? It's not on the package. These are like $18, $20 in Canada, which is expensive for strings.
For
A set of 6.
A set of 6?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
you could have told me that a string was $20 for one string, and I would have believed you. I
Yeah.
have no idea what the
Whoa, this is not the violin.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's, I guess in a way that it is affordable. If you're in, I should be changing that more often than not. But, yeah. Bass strings are expensive, you're right.
What about instead of like 2 strings in the thing,
Mm-hmm.
they just gave you a string that's twice as long.
So if you bust it on one, well,
So if you bust it, you can just slide it through and lock it in again.
the trouble is that the end of the string.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So in order for the string to get caught, they wind it around a ball or a bell, or Fender likes to use bullet-shaped things.
Or bing bong.
Yeah.
All things that start with B.
Lots of good B words, yeah. So they like to use, they wind around things like that. So if you're like, when you buy strings, in this case, you're buying ball-wound strings. And if you, just trying to have a serious discussion. But yeah, if you buy strings, they tend to be this way. I don't know if classical strings are actually just you tie them off like in a knot at the end, like if you knot them yourselves. But it seems like it's maybe they used to do it that way, and then this is
Yeah,
like
I think
the
you have
way
to
they
like get your own cat or something. Classics.
Those were the days. All right, so we got
Synthetic
Yes.
horsehair is available for bows now. Also for horse wigs.
using Ian's tool nippers.
Oh, I thought
Side
I thought
cutters?
that,
Yeah, side cutters.
I
Not
thought
not
that
hands.
for some reason Ian had like guitar strings in his.
Oh.
So let's.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that's a wig.
Casual bus stop.
Oh,
Nice
oh,
bust
very
up.
nice,
Oh,
very
nice.
nice.
Yeah. Oh.
There are wigs for
Oh.
horses.
Oh, the Madonna hair.
Perfect.
Oh,
Oh.
That's-
Marilyn Monroe.
I think
That is
I think
exactly what I was
I think the
hoping
rainbow
for.
one is just
I
dye.
think it's
Yeah.
dye, but you know
But the
that,
one above that is definitely
some
that's
like it hot for sure.
yeah.
I love that movie.
It's steam Tony Curtis's glasses there.
That's the like the entire movie. there's just the horse in a wig that everyone treats as a person.
Well, it's already a move, the cross-dressing, so...
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's a horse with a wig. It's basically a person. It's just a horse wearing another horse's tail as a wig.
Here, if you want to see the difference between the regular string, the wound string, and the coded string, that's a really good indication of how they look.
Neat.
Yeah. If I tune this thing up, we can actually hear what the difference is going to be.
You can hear the difference.
Just going to shove all this stuff into a envelope so that we don't poke anybody, hopefully. And then,
Here's a quick challenge. Just came in a while ago, but it is still very valid as a challenge,
yeah.
as a thing. The person says, please mention the Desert Bus and Loading Ready to Run Mastodon accounts,
Oh, yeah.
as well as letting people know they can sign up for their own accounts on kind.social, which is a very nice you have many choices for Mastodon servers, but kind.social is one that you should check out. It's got lots of cool folks on it, and and it works just like it.
I'm gonna, so two things I have to do is I have to tune this guitar, which means I'm gonna need a tone, and normally I would let my, unless, okay, so I have two questions for engineering. The first question is, do any of you have a spare 9-volt battery? They didn't see this one coming, did they?